again, be interesting to know what you guys think of what you would do if you were Steve McLaren. Are you going to go ahead and make any subsequent changes there to the starting 11? Me, I'm not doing that, especially when it comes to the attackers. For me, Bailey starts. Don't know if you guys disagree with that. I think he starts. I think he's a starter for me. Dexter again, starter. Tyrese Campbell, starter. And those are the guys there, off the top of my head, that I can look at and say, you know what, if things continue on said trajectory in terms of the positivity there that we're seeing, I think these guys here are going to be our bricklayers. So, you know, the likes of your Tyrese Campbell, as I already alluded to, your Bailey, your Dexter, and also I know you guys are also eager to see the likes of Brandon Cover back in the team. So these are clear players there that, in my opinion, age in mind, talent in mind as well. You know, young, talented. Of course, they are born in the diaspora, but I think that's what's so significant with how I'm seeing the future panning out. It's not really common to see players who are of similar ilk in terms of quality and age committing to the Reggae Boys senior men's team. It's not really something that we are used to, but there seems to be currently a turn of the tables, and obviously long may it continue. You know, again, these players there that we're looking at in terms of being the bricklayers for Jamaica, young talented players born in the diaspora, and they're coming to us at a young age. We're talking about players who are just in their early 20s, if that, committing to playing for the black, gold, and green. And I think that does carry its weight of significance, because we are so used to players there, those talented players there from the diaspora, coming into the national setup when they are at a certain stage of their career, you know, particularly where they're either mid to late 20s or early 30s. So it's refreshing to see young, gifted, and talented players like your Campbell, your Bailey, your Dexter, and also looking forward to seeing Brandon Cover back in the team, committing to Jamaica. And what that says to me is that, it's for me it's a monumental dose of positivity, because it's not very often that I can look and say that we are truly building for the future with this one. Yes, it is a case. It's quite unfortunate that despite of their talent, it's a case of the likes of Campbell and also Bailey, for example, playing in the in starting in being in the starting 11 due to injuries. One man's loss being another man's gain. But as I said, you know, in terms of those particular players there, it's not very common where I can say, okay, it looks as if we are building for the future here. It looks as if we're centering ourselves, or positioning ourselves towards long-term gratification. I think a couple of those players there that I just named to you guys, they definitely have what it takes to play for Jamaica for the next decade. And I'm hoping and praying that they do play a pivotal role. So far, they are playing a crucial role in helping us to qualify for next FIFA Men's World Cup. And obviously, if they do so and they are not robbed of a place at the FIFA Men's World Cup come next summer, then they obviously put themselves in a shop window there where they can capture the eyes of bigger clubs. There could be bigger clubs out there who are watching or liking what they see from these young and promising talents at our disposal, and might approach their clubs for their signatures. And I think irrespective of whether those big clubs there come knocking at their door, in terms of them being the bricklayers, which I now see them as the bricklayers, and also the guys there that are building our future foundation. The reason why I'm thinking that is, it's natural that the likes of your Bailey and your, you know, your Tyrese Campbell, your Brandon Cover, these players there, their pairs, which I trust and believe that will be equally as talented as them, or close to being talented as them, or maybe even have more talent than them. I think their peers and their age group, if these young lads can help us to qualify for next summer's World Cup, their peers are going to be looking at them and saying, "I want a piece of that." So those their age mates there who they probably played with for their country of birth in the youth team, say for England, for example, played with them in the youth team, but they're now kind of at a standstill in their international career because they're no longer getting England call ups, and it's looking like damn near impossible for them to play for the England men's national team. I should think that if they see a player like your Tyrese Campbell and your Bailey playing for Jamaica at a World Cup, they're going to be looking and admiring and saying that they want a piece of that. They want to come on board and play for Jamaica, which obviously would make the life of the Jamaica Football Federation that tad bit easier. It's much more better when you've got those talented, gifted, committed, hungry, and determined players knocking on your door than the reverse, right? Because there's not really much of a heavy lifting that you need to do because they're the ones that's coming to you and they're showing that instant immediate interest. So I think we're in a very good position there as it relates to these players there that I think are the um the future mainstays of the men's senior national team. I think it's quite we're at a wonderful position where we're seeing young players are taking control of their futures. That's no secret, it's quite evident. Gone are the days where young players would sit around wanting to, let's say, make it with the first team of their clubs, their current clubs, or respective clubs, irrespective, I should say, irrespective of popularity and success. Younger players these days are saying, okay, yes, I might play for a Arsenal or a Chelsea, but that doesn't mean that I have to stick around. If I don't have a foot into the first team, I'm going to be searching for football elsewhere. I think Amari Hutchinson is a perfect example of that. He was at Chelsea, went to Arsenal, went back to Chelsea. I believe he went to Ipswich, and now he's now at Nottingham Forest, all for wanting to play regular football. So the same is now being done, in my opinion, when it comes to international football. So we're seeing it at club level, and we're now seeing at international level. And I think Jamaica is part of a fruitful a fruitful trend, and long may it continue. I think I'm really excited at the prospect of a couple of those players there again as it relates to our attackers. Dexter Lambakisa is a player that I haven't touched on, but of course he's part of those bricklayers there. Young players born in the diaspora coming on board at an early stage at their careers. They're not doing what players used to do from way back then and sit around and wait on the likes of England to come knocking on their door and give them their desired call up. And there's nothing wrong with that, because naturally, if you're born in a particular country, the dream is to play for that country. There's nothing wrong with harboring those desires. It's just that how long are you willing to wait around? Like when are you going to just take ownership of your career and accept reality for what it is? And also, do you not want to go where you are wanted as opposed to going where you are tolerated? And I think that's why I am a huge supporter of these young boys that's committed to playing for the black, gold, and green at the early stage of their careers. Long may it continue.